Always talk about not. Go live.
And we're on. Okay, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the special meeting of the Madera County Transportation Authority. It is July 12th, 10 a.m. I will call this meeting to order, and we will begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. Ready? Salute.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands, nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice.
Thank you. The first item on the agenda is public comment. This time is made available for comments from the public on matters within the board's jurisdiction that are not on the agenda. Each speaker will be limited to 3 minutes. Attention is called to the fact that the board is prohibited by law from taking any substantive action on matters discussed that are not on the agenda, and no adverse conclusions should be drawn if the board does not respond to the public comment at this time. It is requested that no comments be made during this period on items that are on today's agenda. Members of the public may comment on any item that is on today's agenda when the item is called and should notify the chairperson of their desire to address the board when that agenda item is called. Do we have any public comment?
We have not received any, and there are no hand raised currently online.
You. MCTC sitting as the Madera County 2006 Transportation Authority. Item 4, authority administrative consent items. There are none. Item 5. 5A resolution supplementing the request for the county to call the election and extend the term of the authority and conditionally requesting withdrawal of the Measure T renewal from the ballot upon certain specified conditions. Resolution 2024-03.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just for the purposes for the entire board today, just want to give a little bit of background. I know that we've all been involved in the Measure T renewal process, so I don't really need to kind of go through that entire process since you did receive updates monthly from staff and our consulting firm DKS. But I'll start with May. So in May, at our May 29th meeting, you received the draft expenditure plan, and we requested that we circulate that draft expenditure plan for approval by your various local jurisdictions, the cities and the county, for approval and to extend the authority. And so we did that. And so we circulated it. And then in early June, each one, your agencies did approve the expenditure plan and the extension of the authority. And then on June 12th, the Madera County Transportation Authority met and we had a special meeting. And during that special meeting, we approved by resolution 2024-01, and we refer to it in the resolution that's before you today as the extension resolution. That resolution was to approve the expenditure plan and to also extend the term of the authority. And you also read the first reading of the ordinance at that time. And then in June, on June 19th, the authority board met again. And at that time, you took action to request the Board of Supervisors to call and order a special election to be held and consolidated with the statewide general election on November 5th for the purpose of submitting to the voters of the county the Madera ordinance. And we included in that resolution a copy of the ordinance. And we also had another reading, the second reading of the ordinance at that time. MCTC staff then, subsequent to your action, we submitted all the supporting documentation and transmitted it to the Board of Supervisors. And pursuant to that resolution, we refer to that now as the request resolution because we're requesting the county to take action and to move forward on the November 5th ballot. On July 2nd, the Madera County Board of Supervisors met, and at their meeting, the county clerk recorder and registrar of the voters um, presented the initiative measure to renew the existing sales tax and half 1 cent for local transportation for a period of 20 years. And during that presentation, the county clerk indicated that she had certified the number of signatures on the initiative petition. We have learned that the text of that initiative petition and the text of the Measure T is very similar. And so MCTC authority staff decided that we met and discussed about the transmittal that we sent to you, that this is going to create voter confusion. And voter confusion may arise having two similar measures on the ballot. The proponents of the initiative, of any initiative, even our initiative, we have until August 9th, and so does the proponents of the initiative measure, to withdraw. So today, the action today, we MCTC authority staff, I was going MCTC, MCTCA, same thing, authority staff is recommending to conditionally withdraw its request pursuant to the request resolution that you approved at your June 29th meeting, for an election, or 19th meeting, I should say, for an election by the county on the Measure T renewal on the condition that the initiative measure goes forward on the ballot for the election and is not withdrawn by the proponents by August 9th. Staff also requests that any term extension pursuant to the extension resolution include the term of any initiative administered by the authority, including the initiative measure. So before you today, we have resolution 2024-03, and we're requesting that you approve this resolution. And I'm just going to recite the therefore so that you know you're familiar with the actions taking place. And then I do have council attending today's meeting if they need to clarify any of the anything that I have presented today. So the resolution before you, if the recitals herein are true and correct and incorporated herein by this reference. 2, the authority hereby supplements its request pursuant to the request resolution such that the Madera County Board of Supervisors condition its call of election to place the Measure T renewal on the ballot pursuant to the request resolution on there being no initiative measure on the ballot by or on August 9th. If the initiative measure is on the ballot and not withdrawn by August 9th by its proponents, the authority hereby rescinds the request resolution, thereby rescinding the measure on the earlier August 9th, 2024 at 5 p.m. at the least time by the law of the county of the clerk can receive withdrawal of a measure. The earlier date and the time herein known as the final date that's listed in the resolution. The rescission of the request resolution shall be automatic if the initiative measure qualifies for the ballot by the final date. The authority will also send a letter to the elections official confirming the same prior to the final date. So we will submit a letter to the clerk by August 9th. The authority hereby requests that the County Board of Supervisors extend the term of the authority for at least 20 years and for any extension contemplated pursuant to resolution 24-01, which is the extension resolution attached herein to as an exhibit. So all the backup information is attached to your resolution that you are potentially approving today. Except as amended and supplemented hereby, the request resolution and extension resolution remain in full force and effect. The resolution shall be effective immediately upon passage and adoption. And so with this information before you today, I'd ask if you've had any questions for me or for council, and then this is before you for approval.
Do you have any questions, comments from the commissioners? It goes to Patricia. So This is just kind of a safeguard
Safeguard.
and, thank you.
Yeah, it is a safeguard. And so the action, if I could amend the action slightly on your staff report. So the action today is to approve resolution 2024-03, supplementing the request for the county to call the election and extend the term of the authority and conditionally requesting withdrawal of the Measure T renewal from the ballot upon certain specified conditions. Adding that authority staff will send a letter to the elections official confirming the same prior to the final day. And so just added that we will be sending a letter as well.
And I know this doesn't happen very often, but is this common practice? Or is this the recommendation of council?
This is a recommendation of council, as you mentioned, safeguard. If the initiative is pulled, we still want our measure to be placed on the ballot and move forward accordingly.
One of the dangers of having two measures on the ballot is that you could have slight differences, and if they both pass, you have a conflict of laws which would have to be resolved.
Yeah, and it does create voter confusion. I don't know if Shannon, Anita, did you have anything to add pertaining to the questions?
Yes, thank you. My name is Shannon Chaffin. I'm your general counsel. I'm here with Anita Luck. She's one of our election specialists at Alshire and Winder. Yeah, the intent here, as the commission is reiterating, is to avoid voter confusion and conflicts. These are 99% the same, but they do have some differences. The other issue is when you have measures that are out there that are very closely aligned like we have here, agencies are typically worried not only about voter confusion, but they usually would want to defer to any citizens initiative or directed process because of it's usually requires much more of the population in order to put on a citizens initiative. In this particular case, we don't have anything to do with the citizens initiative and we don't control whether it's kept on or off. So the recommendation to the board is basically the backup plan. And that is, we would withdraw ours if the citizens initiative can go forward. But if for some reason it's taken off the ballot or something happens to it, we have ours as a backup. And then that way the citizens will at least have the opportunity to select one or the other without having two conflicting ones on the ballot. And it ensures we do have something on the ballot.
Anyone else? Okay, at this time, I'll open it up to public comment.
Yeah, Madam Chair, we do have a number of people online, and so if you are wishing to make a public comment at this time, please raise your hand. You have a couple of hands raised. Ms. Gomes? Go ahead and unmute yourself.
I was trying to find the button. Sorry. I want to encourage, doesn't this make it where the citizens to do a tax increase take 75 instead of 50+1? And aren't you taking that process away by voting for this?
I think she's confusing the 2/3.
So the Measure T 2024 renewal that we've been working on for the past year requires a 67%. So 66.7%, 67%. And the Citizens Initiative requires a 50%+1.
Correct. And I thought all tax increases took the 67%.
What was her question again?
Well, that doesn't apply to citizens initiatives.
No, it's 50%+1.
No, I know that on the Citizens Committee, but I thought the Madera County rules were to be to pass a tax had to be this. 67 plus or 67%.
Point of fact, city of Chowchilla passed a measure, Measure M, I believe it was.
N.
Measure N, and it passed, with 50% plus one.
Same with Measure K.
So if it's a general initiative, there's specific requirements of that, but if it's a general initiative or if it's a citizen-led initiative, the 50% plus one is the rule of thumb.
She produced. And she's like, where's she got it? She.
Okay.
We don't want to do.
Let's see. Mr. John Barrow?
Yeah, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Did you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I couldn't. Yeah, I just what you said about citizens initiative versus the county. The big difference on this citizens initiative is that it is a simple majority versus the county's version, which was a 2/3 majority. And I think it's very interesting that when Alex Tavlin went in there and submitted this on the 6th, the measure, the ordinance that was submitted was a 2/3 ordinance that was withdrawn on the 10th, and then it came in with a simple majority. Another big factor in this is that if you go to section 16 of this, isn't it interesting that if you want to amend this, then it's going to require a 2/3 vote by the voters. So the fact that this was a consultant that the Measure T folks hired, and then he turned around and did an end around and got his buddies down in Riverstone to do this initiative, it just stinks. And I know that that's not the point is this is a travesty. There's no transparency in this. There's no donors that you can find because of the way the PAC was set up and the LLC that feeds the PAC. And it's just an absolute travesty. And I would do everything I can to defeat this, not because I'm against a road tax, but because I'm against this kind of mobocracy that's trying to take over the county. And I think the MCTC should take a stand against that.
That's all the hands that are raised at this moment.
At this time, I will close public comment and bring it back to the commission.
I'm going to move to the resolution.
Second,
We have a first and a
I'll
second.
defer to Paul.
I have a comment before we go. You know, it's interesting that it's being defined as mobocracy when it was a citizen-led initiative. I don't understand the angst over a legal effort to stimulate something that is necessary. And I don't understand the anger and the innuendos thrown out at a citizen-led initiative. Why would you be mad at citizens over leading an initiative? I don't understand this kind of thinking. So anyway, all we can do at this point, and I might add, I knew nothing of the citizen-led initiative till it was presented. I got a picture of it, texted to my phone, and I didn't know what it was then until I read it. And so I'm always in favor of the citizenry being active in their own destiny. And that's what this is. They vote for us to represent them, but if they want to lead on something, that is their constitutional right. That is their legal right. And to besmirch the process with that kind of connoting, to me, is in and of itself anti-democracy. Thank you.
Okay, we have a first and a second. Roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Rogers,
Yes.
Commissioner Poitras.
Yes.
Commissioner Ahmed,
Yes.
Commissioner Gallegos.
Yes.
Commissioner Rodriguez is absent. Commissioner Garcia,
Yes.
Commissioner Gonzalez.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carries.
Madam Chair, I defer to my colleague for the second. Okay.
just to make sure that.
Noted, thank you. Miscellaneous items from staff?
No items at this time.
Items from board members, starting with Commissioner Poythress.
Yeah, I just signed up for the 2024 pilot for the road charge, California road charge. I just plugged in my little device in my car this morning, and so I will be reporting on a periodic basis, letting everybody know how that's working. And this is the sign of the future, how we're going to track miles, or at least one method to track miles, so that we can continue to collect money for roads.
Commissioner Garcia.
Yes, nothing related to the transportation. We do have a very important forum regarding the Madera Community Hospital that's coming up next Thursday. And I would urge all of those that are interested in the reopening of our Madera Community Hospital to chime in on their opinions on what their wants are and to get information about regarding the hospital. And so I just want to put it out there. And if you need, I will forward a flyer if you don't have one. So that you can access, and it's also available on Zoom. So you can either attend in person or you can attend else. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Abbott,
Nothing to report.
Commissioner Gallego,
Nothing to report.
and Commissioner. Okay, with that, we will end adjourned. Thank you.
Hey.